Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 2. So let me just say before we get started on this review, because I have a little bit of irritation and I don't want to be irritated this early in the season. However, I'm just going to say right now that if they're going to spend this whole season without anybody ever addressing Porsha, Simon, and Fallon, I'm going to be really irritated this whole season, because why are we dealing with all these trivial little stupid fights that don't even mean nothing, that nobody really even cares about, but we not gonna talk about the elephant that's been in the for the last few years? Like, I'm gonna have to blank out that, but I am just really like, what is going on here? We'll talk about it more in the review. I can't really sit here and complain too much because I gotta take Mister to go drop his damn car off. So he gonna be knocking on the window soon. But in the meantime, y'all, like, am I the only one that's like sitting here like, are we really sitting here talking about Drew and Dennis? A whole episode? Okay. I know that if they've already edited this season, they need to make some changes if that's the way it's gonna go for the rest of the time, because I'm just like, we just gonna just keep on acting like Porsha didn't steal that lady man. And I mean, even if she don't think that she did, can we get some explanation? Like, can we get some conversation about it? Dennis and fucking Drew. Child. Anyway, the review. Let's get to it, shall we? So the show started with Shamia explaining the way that everybody knew each other. I guess they have decided to kind of focus the season on Shamia being the glue. That's what she said that she is. I don't know how you the glue to a group of girls that don't really know each other. I mean, you got the old girls and you got the new girls. You don't really know Kelly, Britt, and Angela like that. So how are you the glue for the rest? Okay, you the glue for Porsha. And whatever Porsha got going on, you know, you cool with Cynthia, Drew, whatever, but it's like, I'm just like, what, are you guys trying to like rewrite history and make us not think that we saw the last 15 seasons? Anyway, back to this party that we was having for Shamia. You know, last week they was all in the room and Porsha was confronting Drew about Dennis, right? Well, now we get the full-blown, what exactly is it? Shamia's like, you know, were you out with Dennis? They said you guys was at the club, booed up and dressed alike. I said, child, not dressed alike. Why does it seem like Drew would actually dress like her man? Anyway, Drew was like, stop playing. Like, and you know how Drew always gets that look on her face like, what? What are you talking? She's always so confused. And so, you know, Porsha was just like, you know, I was invited to the party, but I had just wiped my makeup off my face, so I didn't go. But when I looked at the pictures that Drew posted the next day, I looked and I was like, she don't look like herself. Like, she looked washed, like washed out. It was like, washed? Yeah, she looked stressed. And Drew was like, well, I didn't have any makeup on. Why you didn't have any makeup on? But Porsha was just like, no, it was stress. I know divorce stress. Of course she does. She's going through it too. So she said that she called Drew to find out if Drew was okay. And that Drew had mentioned Dennis, but never said that they were dating. Well, I think that Drew is still trying to say at this damn party that they are not dating. Even though Drew is stupid and she uses words like he's her angel on earth and she don't know what she would do without him, and, you know, I mean, Drew is not messing with Dennis. Drew is not messing with Dennis. Porsha knows that, but we're going to use that to deflect from what everybody really wants to talk about, which is Porsha, Fallon, and Simon. Give a fuck about no damn the superintendent and Drew. So, you know, Porsha goes in the confessionals and she was just like, you know, I am not worried about Drew and Dennis dating at all. I am just upset about, you know, I am going through a divorce and now I got to deal with my baby daddy and she don't want him to be filming with Drew on the fucking show. And I was just like, but why? If you and Dennis are cool, you guys are co-parenting. I mean, I know y'all have y'all petty time and everything, but Why is it that Dennis can't film with Drew if Drew is sitting there telling you that they're not seeing each other, even though we know that Drew is a liar and we know that Dennis is, suspect. Dennis buys all the ladies in Atlanta Rolexes, remember? Shout out to Candy. So it's just like, why are we doing this? Why? See, this is what I was worried about when I was telling you that they was going to that they was going to still try to pad Porsha. They were going to pad her, meaning that they weren't going to let no swings, no heavy jabs come to her, at least not right now. And that's annoying me. So, Drew is just like, well, I never spoke to Porsha about it, but I talked to Dennis and Dennis said that Porsha had given her blessing. Okay, well, Porsha ain't gave her blessing. I'm just sitting here like marveling to myself, like, how is it that you can be so upset about Drew working with Dennis? However, you went with that woman's man and still, like, how do you have the audacity to pin Drew to the wall for doing something that you similarly did? I'm just like, what? And nobody is pointing out. I know Kenya over there, I know her stomach was burning. I know she wanted to say something so bad. She probably sat on her hands. I'm sure there were so many things that could have been said that wasn't, and why not? Like, are y'all really going to do this season? Are they really going to do this season? So, Drew is like, girl, Dennis love you, and we not doing nothing. He's just really helped me out, and I really appreciate him, with my music and all this. So we going back and forth. Finally, Porsha was just like, can I break the fourth wall? And one of the producers was like, break it. Okay, girl, so you know that you the one that called Dennis and told him that you wanted to film with him. Oh my God, my job. Hold on one second. Anyway. You know that you sent a text message to Dennis and said that you wanted to film together. The whole time Drew was sitting over there like, and the fact of the matter, Drew, is that you are a low down, dirty, sneaky dog. I was just like, what exactly are you mad about? Okay, yes, Drew is stupid, and she said he's her angel on earth and all of that. But really, I think that everybody can kind of see through this. Ooh, I'm not going to complain this whole season. I'm not. So I'm going to play along, but I'm telling you that it's ridiculous that they are doing this. And I don't know if anybody else is noticing it. I have to see what everybody else is saying in their reviews and everything. But I'm just like, how is it that nobody is pushing Porsha to the damn wall? I mean, Kelly brought it up last week. Y'all smushed it. But we gonna spend all this time talking about Drew and stupid ass Dennis and Porsha. Listen, if I was Drew, I mean, it's clear that production has told Drew not to say this, or not anybody there to say anything. Let's just focus on this one argument right now. But if I was Drew, I'd have been like, girl, you can't say nothing to me because, bitch, you went as far as to marry one of the other ladies' husbands. But you sitting up here mad at me that this man is in the production booth trying to help me out a little bit. I just think that is really, really interesting that Porsha is just like, I have so much stress in my life with Simon that I don't need to have this kind of stress on the show with Drew. Girl, what you came back to the show for then? Because you knew, even though nobody else knew, that you was getting that divorce when you signed that contract. Because you can't tell me 2 days after you signed the contract, you changed your mind and now you don't want to get married no more. You knew. So, girl, you sitting up here trying to act like you just so, you just can't deal with that because what's going on with Simon and everything. And I was just like, okay. Again, I said I wasn't going to complain. Y'all going to be so irritated with me this season. You're right. Y'all probably like, bitch, you said you was coming back to review the show and now you sitting up here mad. But I want you to understand why. You fucking with the wrong one, girl. The wrong one. Because what you gonna do, Porsha? Although Porsha probably can't fight. She looked like she got some good fight in her. And Drew looked like she can't fight at all. So, in the middle of all this, everybody kind of is throwing their opinions around. Ladies all having something to say, even though the biggest opinion has not been spoken. Again, I know Kenya is dying over there. Then Shamia was like, wait a minute, there was more to it. Okay, what else? Well, Drew called production and said that she wanted to film a Go Naked campaign. And it's like, girl, who told you that you can film anything and schedule anything with my company? Girl, are you insane? Now, I don't know why Drew felt that she needed to call and say she wanted to schedule something with Go Naked. All of this really sounds made up. Like, it sounds made up. And I am offended that they think we stupid enough not to hear it. Now, some people really just want the show to go well, and, you know, so they just gonna go along. And I'll go along well, too. I'll go along as well. But, again, this whole time y'all sitting at that party and Porsha is up here pointing the finger at Drew, but she got all the rest of them pointing towards her and nobody seems to want to address it. It's just killing me. You are a slimy ass bitch. You couldn't have called me all them names at that table and I don't say nothing about what you so blatantly did. You just don't get to do that. And then what's really killing me is that the other ladies also are not. Is he ready to go already? What's killing me is that the other ladies are also like, well, Cynthia, well, you know, Drew has been known to lie in the past. Where you about to go?
Nowhere.
Oh. Drew has been known to lie in the past. We're not talking about in the past. And yes, Drew is a liar and that's already been established. But what else? What else y'all gonna talk about? Y'all just gonna leave everything else out, huh? Okay. So I'm just going to tell you that Porsha's indignity at this party is killing me. She sat there and fussed at Drew, but didn't really say nothing. Drew ain't fucking Dennis, okay? And I love a good little salacious little story too. And I know Drew might have something in her, but Drew is not doing that. Porsha knows it, but Porsha needs to deflect and get the heat off of her. And the ladies are all playing along. And it's because production probably told them not to address it right now. And that bothers me. Kenya was like, so are you mad about Dennis or the music? And somebody was like, well, I think she's mad about Dennis. She ain't mad about none of that. I mean, she actually might be, because that might just be how Porsha is, because she probably feels like none of the men should be with anybody else but her. But I'm just like, Porsha, really? Anyway, child, we finally finished this stupid conversation that they was all sitting in that room for, and we rejoined the party. Shamia says that, you know, it's been a very tumultuous few years. You know, she hasn't been able to celebrate her birthday the way she wanted to. She has a child that has health issues, and there's things that she just hasn't been able to do. So now she's at her party, she want to turn up. Let's have a good time. So the girls all jump in the pool or get pushed in the pool or whatever, and they're all in there, you know. And actually that looked like that was fun. I was like, okay, looked like they had a good time at the party. Shamia looked like she a good time girl, you know. They looked like they had a good time, but that conversation in that room annoyed me to no end. Okay, moving on. Later on, we see Shamia go to see her surrogate. Shadina? Is that her name? Shadina. Shadina was also Candy's surrogate. Remember when Shadina was pregnant with the baby? What was the baby's name? She said it. I don't want to get the baby's name. When she was pregnant with the baby, at 32 weeks, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and it was like a advanced, aggressive form of breast cancer. So they had to deliver the baby. So, of course, them delivering the baby at 32 weeks, you guys know that the baby is not fully baked and ready then. So then the baby was having health issues as well. And, you know, so there has been a lot of stress there. So Shamia goes to see Shadina, who actually is doing well right now. She looks like, I don't know if she's in remission. They didn't really say where she was in her breast cancer journey anymore. It looks like she may have had a mastectomy and then maybe had reconstructive surgery, because Shamia mentioned how good her breasts look. But anyway, so, you know, they sit down and they talk, and Shamia's just talking about how, you know, she was in vitro fertilization. They had like 7 rounds of it, you know, and that it was never taking. So then that's why she wanted to have a surrogate as well, but she had guilt about it because, you hear people that have their opinions about surrogacy and all of that. And then, of course, when Shadina got sick, then she felt guilt about whether or not it was like breast cancer that was, advanced because of the pregnancy. Some of the hormones from being pregnant sometimes will give you so much extra estrogen, and that could be a reason why you have cancer. And Shadina was like, no, it wasn't related to that actually. So that was a good thing. However, Shamia felt guilty and, she's been going through it and all that. So, she's just checking on Shadina. Shadina's doing very well. She tells her that she does know of another surrogate because, Shamia and her husband, they want to expand the family. And Shamia said that she has like 4 eggs, 2 boys and 2 girls, that's on ice. So, whenever she's ready, or when she can find the person that can carry, because Shamia can't even get pregnant anymore. She had a ruptured tube, I believe she told us, that it just bursted and bled out and all that. So she's not even able to have babies anymore. So the only way that they can have babies is either surrogacy or adoption. Okay, so they're gonna go that route again. Shadina's gonna help her with that, so good for them. Now, we finally get Angela's package. You guys know that she's married to Charles Oakley, the basketball player. Charles Oakley played with the Bulls and the Knicks back when, when we had Shaq and all them that was playing, Robert Horry, and I could tell you all of the lineup for the Lakers. That's about it. Derek Fox and all. But anyway, Angela said that they have a great marriage and they have 3 kids. I think they have 2 kids together, and then he had a child, previously as well. But she feels like their relationship, she said, was designed to happen. That, even though Charles is this basketball player, she's also self-made. She is a financial advisor. She has a financial consulting company. She said that she built that shit up brick by brick, so can't nobody tell her nothing else about it. That's hers, and she did it on her own. And so, I feel like I'm like Angela. Okay, she seems like she's a grown woman and she looks like she can laugh at herself, but she also, gonna ask what she needs to ask and assert herself. She's not gonna just cower down. So far I'm liking Angela. Anyway, Angela is talking to her daughter and, her daughter was like, how was the party? And she was just like, oh, honey, the party was good. Now, Charles is in the room too. She was like, honey, Shamia's husband, honey, she got this badass house and her husband bought her the Bentley truck or whatever the truck was, the Rolls Royce truck. And, the daughter's looking, Charles was like, and this is where I will walk out the room because you ain't gonna make me feel bad for not buying you no damn Bentley truck. But she starts explaining to the daughter, like, the conversation that was had at the party and how, they were going on and on about Dennis and how, maybe Drew should not have gone out with Dennis. And yeah, maybe Drew should not have gone out with Dennis. Or maybe they could have gone to whatever they was going to, but they didn't need to be holding hands and they didn't need to be dressed alike because... and I don't know if they sat down and called each other and was like, okay, what you wearing? Okay, I'm gonna wear that too. Or if it just coincidentally looked like they both had on black jeans and a white shirt or something like that. But what I'm saying is, it's still not that big of a deal. Okay, Angela was like, I can see both sides. I can see why Porsha would feel the way that she would, but I can also see why Drew is just like, what's the big deal here? And Charles was like, I don't see what the big deal is either. And Angela was like, well, I wouldn't want you to be doing what Dennis is doing. Charles don't look like he would be doing what Dennis is doing. Charles looked like he's very aloof. Okay, and he just over there chilling. So they have a cute little banter, they tease each other or whatever, but they look like they have a pretty solid or a pretty cool relationship. She said that the reason why her and Charles's relationship is good, why their marriage is good, because she let him be him. And I'm gonna tell you what, I know this ain't about me, but that is the truth. As you stay with somebody longer and longer, you realize that there's just certain things that's just what they do. That's just them. Okay, and you cannot let if that's just how they are and they got all these little weird little things that get on your nerves, you know what, you just got to learn to deal with them because it could be a lot worse. Okay, and it could be shit as simple as somebody leaving their socks on the side of the bed every day when they get out. It's like they take off their socks at the side of the bed. I always say that if Mr. wasn't married to me, he would have a pile of socks 500 feet high because he just takes them off and I always pick them up and put them in the dirty clothes. Okay, so it's just certain things. You just got to let a person be who they are. So that's why I think I'm gonna like Angela and Charles. Okay, they look cool. Now, let's jump over to Kenya. So we see Kenya and she meets Porsha out for lunch. Now, this is the first time, because I can remember when they filmed this a long time ago because they were posting the pictures on social media. And this is the first time that they got together. This is right when they told us that Kenya and Porsha was, that they were both coming back and that it was going to be, that they were going to be like maybe friends this time. So, they sit down and, oh, girl, you look good. Oh, girl, you look good too. Oh, we kind of look like we got on the same thing a little bit. Anyways, they show us the history of their relationship or their friendship or their frenemy or whatever you want to call it, them fighting, them going back and forth. But Porsha was just like, we both grown with kids now. We ain't got time to be fighting. I said, girl, you had kids when you was fighting before. The baby was just smaller, but you was still a mama. So anyways, of course, when they sit down, they're talking about the party, and Kenya's confused about Drew and Dennis. I had met with Drew a few days before that, and she had already told me that Porsha had given her blessing, and Porsha was like, I ain't gave no fucking blessing. No, Porsha's whole thing was she just felt like Drew was very sneaky, and she didn't like that. Okay, well, why didn't you just say that? All this, girl, you a low-down dirty snake trying to film with Dennis. Girl, you know that child don't want Dennis either. So like Kenya, I'm trying to decide what Porsha is mad about as well. So Porsha tells us in the confessional, when me and Dennis are co-parenting and everything is going well, we good. But when it's petty Porsha and Dennis the Menace, then it's something else. So Porsha says that she doesn't want Dennis to film with Drew because she doesn't want it to compromise their newfound family respect that they all have for each other. Let's keep everything on the even keel. And I mean, I can understand that. You don't want no extra drama. I got all that. But the thing is, it's only going to be extra drama if you putting the drama on it, because Drew is not messing with Dennis like that, So what you're trying to say is Dennis he is not, even though it is crazy that Dennis is messing with Drew, like, that there's plenty other people in this world that Dennis could be working with. So I know that Dennis is doing this with Drew just to be Dennis. But I'm just like, girl. So anyway, Kenya ain't trying to talk about that. Kenya want to know, like, what's going on with you and your estranged husband. And, Porsha, well, it just started to get really just kind of like weird. Like one time we was at the airport and, we was on the plane and we got surrounded real quick and it kind of got scary. And I was like, what's going on? And he was like, well, he had this visa, it was suspended or something. Why are we talking about this? She was going on and on about some car and something and it was stolen and all that. Listen, I don't care about any of that. None. Honestly, if they wouldn't have played in our faces like they did, if they would have just honestly had Kenya and Porsha sit down and Kenya just talk to Porsha one-on-one, but still kind of be like, girl, you was kind of tripping and you shouldn't have did this and did that. And if Porsha could have kind of like swallowed her pride and been like, yeah, I was fucked up, I was wrong, I shouldn't have done that. Do you know that might have helped Porsha a little bit? But they're not going to do that. But what I'm saying is, that is what some of the audience want. They want to hear answer from Porsha. And they really could have did it gently so that we could have got it addressed and Kenya could have still mentioned it to Porsha and Porsha could have said what she had to say and we could have moved on. But this, ignoring the obvious, I don't know how Kenya did it. Child, I don't know how she did it. Porsha starts telling her how, one time when I had left and I was at my mom's house and then, my phone was beeping and I looked at the cameras and do you know he had another woman in our house? She was hurt about that and she couldn't understand that. She said the reason why she knew Simon was her person and not Fallon's is because that he read her book that came out. And, she talked about all her past trauma and he could relate and he understood and he consoled her and he was there for her. And she felt like that was the person that she was supposed to be with for the rest of her life. Do you know how many people probably feel sorry for you in the book? Do you know how many people probably feel sorry for you, Porsha? You gonna marry them too? You gonna steal their husband as well? He told me I was safe. But the honesty slipped away at the end. So Porsha just not gonna take no accountability. None. Okay, I mean, I guess I got it. I'm not gonna keep complaining about it, you guys. Drew is going to go work out at the gym, and she's gonna meet Angela there. And I guess she mentioned Shamia and Porsha, so I don't know if Shamia and Porsha was supposed to come, because she was like, and me and Shamia and Porsha been in a group text together, you know. So I was just like, what they got to do with anything? I thought she was just meeting Angela there to work out. So at first it's just her and Angela. So when they're talking, Angela was just like, I just wanted to know why Dennis, out of all of the people in Atlanta that do music, didn't I just tell y'all that last week? There's plenty of people that she could work with. It's obvious why she's working with Dennis. As a matter of fact, the three of them probably got together and was like, okay, this is the storyline that we gonna use so that we can try to keep the heat of Porsha and Fallon and Simon off of the thing. Didn't I just say I wasn't gonna complain again? Okay. So, I have worked with so many legends and nothing has happened. So why not try the hot dog king? She was just like, it's a business relationship. Well, why couldn't you have said those exact words at Shamia's party? He's my angel on earth and he has been my everything and he's helped me. Girl, you know how to use the words that don't inflame and incite. You said very clearly, he's my business partner here, but all this other shit that you did at the party And then my whole thing was like, if you have this group chat with Shamia and Porsha, then why is it that you couldn't have just mentioned to Porsha? You guys have had this group chat for years. Why couldn't you have been like, hey, girl, I'm going to be working with your baby daddy. Like, I hope it's not going to be no problem. Girl, it ain't nothing. I ain't, ain't nobody looking for Dennis or nothing. It's just that I need to do some work and he going to help me. Why couldn't you have said that? You gonna wait for Dennis to go say something to Porsha? You see what I'm saying? They think we stupid, y'all. They think we stupid. So many plot holes, But anyway, she just starts crying because she's talking about how difficult the divorce has been, which I'm sure it has been because Ralph is an asshole. She said he wants alimony. He wants child support. They trying to figure out the visitation and all their mutual property and all that. So she's been stressed. Now, Shamia shows up, so that's when I was like, oh, was Porsha supposed to come too? Because I couldn't understand why Shamia was there. But Shamia comes there, so they all work out together. Afterwards, Drew, Angela's asking, like, what's going on with the music then, since you guys are working on this music? And Drew says, well, they got about 30 records done. There's nothing else other than that. I mean, even Dennis wanted her and Ralph to try to work it out. So, they not, the superintendent and Ralph are homies. So she's not trying to go there. So then Angela was like, Shamia, it was just really shocking to me the way you just blurted it out at the party. Like, why did you even say that to her like that? And Shamia, she was like, it was because like you was trying to find out for Porsha. And Shamia was like, no, I was trying to find out for me. And I was like, no, Shamia, you let the producers tell you to do that. And then it in turn made you look like the lapdog and the assistant and the better friend to Porsha than if it was reversed, that everybody has been calling you all this time. Like, Shamia is gonna have to assert herself and step out of this shadow of Porsha. Girl, you the one. Now, you the one. You have every right to be there. You have every right to be the damn a housewife. And you still gonna have to learn how to get out of that girl's shadow. I know it's hard because maybe their whole life, they've been friends since they've been young. And you guys know sometimes the dynamics of a friendship, it just carries on into adulthood. The way that there might have been one kid that everybody loved, that was popular, that was the cutest, and and then you continue that role as you get older. You don't know how to get out of that. But Shamia gonna have to come out of that. Okay, because even Angela pointed out to Shamia, and then them two, Shamia was like, you kind of coming in hot. And Angela was just like, but do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you was up there fighting the fight for Porsha at first. So it's so much that needs to be done. But Shamia's going to have to get out of this way of thinking. Angela was like, you're not going to shut me down. I am a grown ass, almost fucking 60-year-old woman. So I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm going to ask the questions that I want to ask. And you're not going to tell me not to say it. That's why I like Angela, because I like them kind of people. Jumping over to Kelly. So Kelly, we see her. She goes to look at this new space, I guess, where her new Nana's Chicken and Waffles is going to be. Remember I told you guys last week I ain't never heard of the place. Well, the shit is in McDonough. That's why I ain't never heard of it, because don't nobody go to McDonough unless you live there, child. That is far, far, far away. And nobody goes out there again unless you already in that area. So maybe the people that live out that way knows the place, but Atlanta, for the most part, I bet you most people don't know what the fuck a Nana's Chicken Waffles is. Okay, so she's, I guess, about to move to this new location. She needs it to be open by July 15th. She's there with her publicist and her project manager, and the project manager is trying to tell her, like the publicist is that they don't have enough time. This is only a few weeks and you trying to get this shit going. And you know, her whole thinking is like, no, we're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done. And they just sort of like, no, we are not. And she's not really listening to them because it has to be done by July 15th. Then, you guys, we see Britt's package. We finally see something is weird. Something is weird with the husband. I just, like, I can't, I don't know why I feel like that, but immediately when he is on the screen, I feel unease. Okay? Are these two, like, together in a full-blown relationship, or did she tell us that they were separating? No, she didn't. That was Kelly, huh? Okay, so yeah, this is it. So this is her active full husband. I don't know why he gives me such the ick. Something is weird there. So, you know, she just talking about the relationship, how they got together, they met and they was having a good time, and then they started dating and they got married during COVID, so they didn't have no big wedding, so they ended up just going to the courthouse and getting married. She's an insurance agent, and you know, she said that her business, she built it brick by brick. And, you know, she said her business, she built it all on her own. So, you know, she's also considers herself a self-made person. Nobody can take that away from her. So I guess these two issues is that he wants to have a baby. And, you know, she just does not look like, well, she said that she's willing to have the baby now. She's willing to have the baby now. But she wants to have a new baby in a new house. She doesn't want to have the house that they're in now. She wants to move. It looks like the husband ain't really with it. But she wants to have a new space. The mom walks in and he was just like, she ain't never going to have no baby. And the mom was like, no, I think she is going to get pregnant this year. Okay, I guess when Britt puts her mind to it, then that's what happens. So, but the mom is there living with, I don't know, just that dynamic was weird. I'm going to have to see more of it. But was I the only one that every time that husband's face was on that screen, I got like some kind of weird feeling? It was strange. I've never quite felt that way so quickly for any character on any reality show. So we're going to see what that's about. I guess maybe I just need to see more of them. Now, later on, we see Kelly and Britt. They get together with their dogs, okay? And they are also Ace Boone Coons. I guess these two were actually friends before the show. And that's when they're having a conversation about another wedding for Britt and Mike. You know, Kelly laughing. The girl, I'm coming to the wedding, and don't worry, I'm not going to be 3 hours late. That's the way that they was able to usher in the conversation about Shamia's party and Porsha getting there 3 hours late. Kelly said all I wanted to know was why she took that lady husband, and they wouldn't even tell me. Britt was like, well, did you catch when Kenya asked me where was my wedding ring? And she was, you know, going back and forth about the engagement ring and the wedding ring and all that. I was just like, again, stupid fights. Give a fuck what you think about my ring. Okay? You don't even have one. So why are you even worried about where my wedding ring is? That's what Britt could have said to Kenya, but didn't say that either. So many missed opportunities. She was like, I'm the sweetest person ever. I don't know why Kenya was on me like that, because Kenya points out, she scopes out the one person that she feels is going to be the weakest or the mark. She, you know, ain't got no use for Drew no more. So now we coming after you, Miss Britt. You are the one, unfortunately so. Maybe unfortunately for Kenya, considering the way that story ended. Anyways, Kelly is just talking about her relationship with the husband and how he drained a bank account and, you know, left the marriage and all that. So it was a nasty situation. She called it the house of hell. So, you know, Kelly is over there trying to do what she got to do. The divorce is about to be finalized in a couple of, I think she said 2 months, right? We see Porsha and Dennis. She and her baby daddy have the baby, Pilar, at like one of those jump zones, the fun zone kind of places out here in Atlanta. Okay. And Porsha said, we are trying to be the best parents that we can be. But after they sit down, you know, Porsha wants to have a conversation about him with this Drew situation. I just want to talk to you about this mess with Drew. And he was just like, like what? We do business together. Okay? Because, of course, that's what Dennis is going to say. Drew is saying something completely different. And I was like, Porsha, she is not saying something completely different. I mean, she is saying he's my angel on earth and everything, but she's not saying, oh, yeah, we dating, we seeing each other, we going out together, we hanging. Yeah, I love him. She's not saying nothing like that. Why are you sitting up there telling him like that's what she's saying? Because that's what she's insinuating. He was just like, listen. She was like, when you talk to me, you never mentioned that you was working with her. And he was like, but I never felt like I should have to talk to you about my business dealings. I don't talk to you about when I'm, ordering up extra buns at the damn restaurant. He is never gonna live down that hot dog king. But I'm just saying, like, he was like, I don't have to reach out to you about that, and he doesn't. However, it's different when they all work together. Now, you could have mentioned to Porsha that you was going to be working with Drew. It could have been something in passing. Again, all this feels very much contrived and very much created. He was just like, I never touched Drew. Ralph is my homeboy. He knows that. I've said that to him. We all have an understanding. Why are you having a problem with it? I can't even figure out if Porsha is trying to say that she's mad that they're seeing each other, or that she just don't want Dennis to be on the show with her. Like, I don't even know what exactly are you saying, Porsha? He was like, you think I'm banging Drew? I just don't want you to have to film with Drew. Oh, now all of a sudden Porsha's getting emotional. She gets upset. All right. And she stands up and she walks away. And the superintendent is just sort of looking like, but wait a minute, it's not even that, She goes in the bathroom. She's talking to the producers, and she says that she don't understand why she can't get loyalty from anybody. Really? I mean, the things that this child says and nobody calls her on it. Are you kidding me? She talking to the producers, talking about, I just don't want anybody. I don't want him to be coming. I don't want them to be filming together on my platform. It's not your platform. It's called The Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's not called the Porsha Williams show. Okay? It's not your platform. It's everybody's. This is an ensemble cast. It's not just what Porsha wants. So you sitting up here crying in this bathroom about Drew and the superintendent that don't nobody give a fuck about. Girl, please. I'm not gonna let Dennis see me cry. He doesn't get my tears. Okay. So she gonna, even though she done walked off, she got to get herself together. I guess they decide to leave. So then they're supposedly off camera, but still the mic is hot. So they're in the car and they going back and forth. And she tells him that he's going to compromise his relationship with his daughter. His daughter ain't got shit to do with Drew. The only way that would compromise the relationship with the daughter is that if Porsha decided to start tripping and try to keep the daughter away from him. But other than that, it's not going to. And yeah. Y'all, I promise you, I'm not gonna complain the whole season, but I am just going to say that if this is what it's gonna be, I guess this episode made me feel like that's what we are gonna be looking at for the rest of the season. Maybe I need to be more patient and just let it play out organically, so somebody finally blurts out what we all want to hear is this thing with Porsha and Fallon. Okay, maybe it'll come up eventually, but right now, this episode, I just was like, I guess. All right, you guys, that is it. I'm going to get on off of here. Make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm Roxanne. The channel is itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.